These are strategies to use when introducing the third read aloud.
The third read aloud occurs a few days after the second, when the story is still fresh in the child's mind, but enough time in between to make them think back.
For the third read aloud, you want to begin by prompting the children about what they remember.
You can start out by asking if they remember the title of the book.
For example, we've already read this book twice, so I know you know the title. Can anyone tell me what it is?
Allow time for the children to respond.
Then you can ask if any of them can remember the problem or problems that happened within the story.
Allow the children to respond what they think is the problem.
You can then respond and reassure them that they are correct, and ask if there were any ways to prevent the problem. Prompt the students for ideas by using thought-provoking questions or phrases.
Have the children describe the solution to the problem in the story.
You then can show the cover of the book and ask the children what they see on the cover.
We will now proceed with an example of how to use these strategies.
Okay, friends, we're going to take a look at our book again. Does anyone remember the title of the book we've been reading this week?
Peter Rabbit.
All right, very good. I'm glad you guys remembered it. Does anybody remember any of the problems we talked about? Remember, there were 2 in this book.
He was trying to catch the rabbit.
Who was trying to catch the rabbit?
Mr. McGregor.
That is one of the problems. Very nice. And do you remember what the other problem could have been?
He got lost in his garden and he couldn't find his way home.
That's right, he did. And do you remember why he went into the garden?
Because he was hungry.
He was hungry. What did he want to eat?
I was hungry one time.
That's good. We can talk about that at another time after story time, okay?
Food.
Okay. I bet he was hungry. He wanted food.
He wanted lettuce.
He did want lettuce. But why did his mom not want him to go into the garden?
Because it's not safe.
It wasn't safe. And who went into the garden and didn't come back?
His dad.
His dad, I know. Do you remember what? So Peter got lost in the garden and couldn't find his way out. And now we are going to start looking at this book, and I want you to tell me the whole story. So I'm not going to read any of the words on this page, and I want you to tell me what happens. Do you think you can do it?
No.
You can try. I think you can. You're all very smart. So let's look. What happens on this first page? Does anyone remember?
Peter Rabbit runs away.
He does, eventually. But what happens first? Where is Peter?
At home.
He is at home. And who is he with?
Mom.
Where do they live?
A tree.
In a tree. And what is happening here?
Mommy's leaving and Peter's going to the garden
Where-
away from his brothers and sisters.
Sneaky Peter. But where does Mommy remind him not to go?
The garden.
The garden. What happens on the next page? Do any of my friends remember?
He goes to the garden.
Let's go to the garden. So what's happening here?
He's eating the carrots.
He is eating the carrots.
Can I have the carrots?
We have carrots after for snack time. What is happening here? Does anyone else know?
Mr. McGregor found him.
He did. Let's see.
He's
Let's
gonna
look
catch
at.
him.
Oh, he is gonna catch him. What is he gonna catch him with? This is one of our vocabulary words. Do we know?
Sieve.
A sieve. And what is a sieve?
A strainer.
A strainer. Very good. Let's look at one of our other vocabulary.
What do you use a strainer for?
You can use a strainer in the
Pasta.
box. Pasta, when making pasta. Dirt, or getting rid of rocks in your dirt or your sand. Let's see, one of our vocabulary words was the word dreadfully. Does anyone remember what dreadfully means?
Bad.
Extremely.
Extremely bad. Anything
Very.
else? Very. We got another vocabulary word, and it's unfortunately. What does that one mean?
Bad luck.
Bad luck. Wow. You guys have a lot of good memory. So that was very tough vocabulary, but we got through it. So let's go to the next page. Who remembers what happens next?
Peter hides
Peter hides? Where does he hide?
in the shed.
In the shed. And where is Peter? Can we see him?
No.
No. Where does Mr. McGregor think he is?
Under the pots.
Under the pots. But where is Peter?
In the watering can.
He is in the watering can.
Why was he hiding?
He was hiding because he didn't want Mr. McGregor to catch him. But then, what happens? What does Peter do that gives away his hiding spot?
Sneeze!
He does. He sneezes. He goes, kerchoo! Can we all do that?
Achoo!
Very good. Now, something happens next. What happens when on the next page?
Mr. McGregor hears him.
He does, and where does he go?
He runs.
He runs where?
Out the window.
Out the window. And what does he hit?
The plants.
The plants. Look at. Oh. And one of our vocabulary words said that they were upsetting the plants. What does that mean?
He made him sad.
Yeah, and why are they sad?
Because they're knocked over.
They're knocked over, they got broken. Is Peter sad right now?
He's
Yeah.
crying.
Why is he
Okay.
crying?
Because he doesn't want to go home.
He doesn't know, and he can't find his way out, right? And who didn't help him?
The mouse.
The mouse. The mouse didn't help him. So, what happens on the next page? My friends remember?
No. He tries to find his way out.
He does. And what does he climb up onto? What is this?
Wheelbarrow.
A wheelbarrow. What do we use wheelbarrows for?
To carry stuff.
We do carry stuff.
Dirt.
What kind of stuff? Dirt.
Sand.
Sand, leaves, rocks. And what is this part right here?
Wheel.
A wheel. Very good. Does Peter ever find his way back?
Yes.
Oh, good. Do you remember what happens on the next page?
He finds the gate.
He finds the gate. And what does he do?
Goes
He
home.
goes home. And what happens when he goes home then?
He's tired.
He's tired. And what did Peter lose throughout this story?
His sweater.
His sweater. And what else did he lose?
His shoes.
His shoes. But he came home. And who is he with now when he's home?
His family.
His family. We have another vocabulary word to look at on this page, and it's fortnight. Does anyone remember what fortnight means?
No.
That's a hard one. Does anyone remember?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Very good, Katie. And there's one more on this page, and that is chamomile tea. What is that? Has anyone heard that before?
My mom makes that for me.
She does. Why does she make that?
Because it makes me feel better.
Makes you feel better. It's good tea, right? When you're feeling kind of sick, what other things do your parents give you?
Soup. Orange juice.
Orange juice. What else could you drink?
Water.
Water, maybe milk. So I have one last question. What do you think would happen if Peter never went into the garden?
There will be no book.
There would be no book. You're right.
He wouldn't have been so tired.
He wouldn't have been so tired. What else could have happened?
He wouldn't have lost his sweater.
He wouldn't have. He would still
He
have
would have
it.
made this plant sad.
That's true. He wouldn't have made the plant sad. Is there anything else that maybe wouldn't have happened then?
The farmer wouldn't have been mad.
You are right. Is there anything else we need to go through? Okay.
To recap the strategies from earlier and the following reading demonstration, keep the following in mind. During the reading, allow the children to reconstruct more of the story than the last time it was read by having the students look at the pictures and answering questions such as, what is happening on this page? Before turning to the next page, ask the children if they remember what is going to happen next and work on the children's vocabulary throughout the book. Ask why and what if questions as you read through the book. An example of a what if question for Peter Rabbit is, what do you think would have happened if Peter Rabbit hadn't listened to his mother? Finally, on longer books, teachers should reread many pages of the text and have the children reconstruct only a few pages. On shorter books, teachers should allow children to reconstruct more of the story and read only a few pages. For other read-alouds, we recommend Jack and the Beanstalk, Snow White, and the Three Little Pigs. This concludes the read-aloud process for Peter Rabbit.